I am Andrei Leonidovich. I enlisted under contract to serve, coming from a place of incarceration. The reason I joined the service was to cross the border from Ukraine into Russia, so I could stay and live in Russia, because I have a wonderful, loving, common-law wife and a young, precious, beloved son here with me.
And where are you?
In Leningrad region, the city of Gachina.
When was the last time you saw her?
Well, it was when I was deported in 2016. But we used to see each other over video calls. We talked before the war. When the war started, they forbade us from making calls in prison because the SBU was listening in, and you could get extra time for supposedly communicating with Russia.
What's her name?
Her? Marina. Avramova Marina.
And your son?
My son's name is Vyacheslav. He will be 9 years old. He was actually born with a slight disability. He has a cyst on his spinal cord and has had many surgeries. All his childhood, until he was 5, he was constantly in hospitals. The conditions were normal at first, until the war started, until they began to pass the law for mobilizing convicts. As soon as this law started to take effect, they began, as they say, to tighten the screws all over the prison. Well, they started threatening everyone, saying that if you don't go, to serve, then we'll treat you even worse. If you go to work at all, they make you build wire mesh, like for the front line, some kind of barely noticeable barrier. There are 4 types of it.
That was made out of wire, right?
Yes, 4 types of thin wire made into rings. And they sent everyone to work on this mesh to make it. They forced us to make it almost in 3 shifts. And people, damn it, started coming from different brigades, these representatives. Who should be taken into which brigade? And it turned out that I ended up in the 67th. I went, damn it, not because of the regime or anything like that. I just want to get to my son, to my wife.
So, as I understand it, you no longer want to go back for an exchange?
No, I don't want an exchange. I want to stay in Russia. There's nothing for me to do in Ukraine, and honestly, there's nothing left to do there at all. My, former squad leader, he was actually caught by the SBU for taking a bribe, for accepting a bribe.
What was it for?
He took a bribe to make documents for another convict, so that he could get out sooner. And there were other cases like that too. I also have a cousin, she lives in Rivne as well. She also told me that her friends were told, either give us $5,000 and we won't bother you anymore. We'll write you up as unfit, coof, or damn, then off you go to the TCC. It's like you go through the VLK and go off to fight.
Did you have to go through any kind of medical examination before getting in?
The medical commission would come. Well, the medical commission, you could say it was there or it wasn't. Well, they took everyone with all their illnesses.
Were there people with serious diseases who ended up at the front?
Yes. HIV, damn it, and a whole bunch of other diseases. They even took people with only one eye. Well, there was one guy.
Sniper, maybe?
One eye could see, the other couldn't. They even let those guys through. There were those, what are they called, diseases. A, B, C, those ones.
Hepatitis?
Hepatitis. They took people with hepatitis at any stage.
So, were you a separate unit or was it all mixed together?
No, we had a separate unit. There's the 67th Brigade. And we were just a unit. They called it Storm. Or was it Storm? Well, something like a storm, something like that, fuck. No, not Storm, it was Shkval.
Squaw?
Yes.
And what task did you have?
Our task was, they train all of us, then gather us together and send us in groups to provide support there, while at the front. Either to go on the attack or to hold the defense.
So tell me, when you were brought to the positions, what did you see? What tasks were you given?
We arrived at the positions and they told us that everything was quiet there. That, No one was advancing at the moment, nothing like that. You'll just stand there, stand in defense for 3 or 4 days, and then you'll be replaced. Others will come.
And lie to you?
Well, yes. We got there, and there were drones constantly flying overhead, and mortars also flying overhead. I didn't see even a single moment of real quiet during the 4 days I was there.
That was your first time out?
Yes, that was, well, the first and the last.
And the last?
I was just sitting in that dugout, damn it, already waiting for someone to come so I could surrender and get the hell out of there. The command, well, they spoke through gritted teeth. They left a lot unsaid, lied about a lot of things. At first, they promised us the world. In the end, none of that happened. They promised us training, damn it, for a month and a half, maybe even longer. At least a month and a half.
Uh-huh.
But none of that happened.
They lied to you again?
Yes, none of it happened. We arrived after this basic training, and the next day in the morning, around 9 o'clock, they loaded us up and took us to the training ground. Well, supposedly to do some shooting practice there.
Alright, that makes sense. What do you think? What was the attitude of the command towards you?
They didn't consider us normal people. I don't know, maybe because we were convicts, or maybe just, well, some kind of resource. Since we didn't want to fight, I didn't even fire a single shot in the 4 days I was there.
Uh-huh.
The defense there didn't work out. Your soldiers treated us well. They spoke politely, acted appropriately. Everything was fine.
So, they didn't beat you or anything?
No one laid a finger on me, nothing like that. I even talked to one of them, the one I surrendered to, Hez, also from St. Petersburg. We want to meet up again after all this is over.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How do you assess the actions of the political leadership? I mean, the president, the government?
They're completely lying.
Uh-huh.
They try, even through propaganda on TV sent in the media, to communicate things as if they were facts. Things that just aren't true, not in the slightest.
Like, well, for example?
Well, for example, that Russia supposedly offered to make peace or something like that. But they said that, damn, Russia wants half of Ukraine in exchange for peace.
Uh-huh.
And so on. That never actually happened. Because I had conversations with some of the guys who played the game with me back then. We talked, and nothing like that happened.
Well, you know about the attack on the Kursk region, right?
I only found out about the attack on the Kursk region when the fighting was already happening there, when they had already entered the Kursk region, because at that time we were still at training in that camp in Desna. And they took away our phones, so we couldn't watch the news or anything.
Uh-huh.
They gave us our phones once a week for 30 minutes to call our families. That's it.
Uh-huh. Well, what do you think? Does this attack on the Kursk region look like any kind of desire for peace?
No, this is purely a provocation for further war. From my perspective, that's how I see it. They're just provoking so that the war continues.
Uh-huh.
Because if they really wanted peace, they would simply just stay in their positions and not move anywhere. But as it is, they've already invaded well your territory. My commander said, if you, damn it, refuse to go somewhere or don't follow orders, I'll take you into the woods and just shoot you, that's it.
Uh-huh.
He said, it's easier for me to write you off than any weapon they've issued.
So this was specifically directed at people from correctional facilities, right? From the front?
Well, here we were all standing there, we lined up, we had a formation. We lined up, and that's when he said this to us.
Uh-huh.
He said that if anyone tries to mess around, I'll take you out to the woods, shoot you, and that's it.
I see. You speak Russian well, right? Tell me, in general, how do you communicate there? In Ukrainian, in Russian, or how?
Well, in Ukraine, where I lived, we spoke Syrzhyk, that's a mix of Ukrainian and Russian. I live near the border with Belarus.
Uh-huh.
I used to go to Belarus for work and to Russia as well. I spent a lot of time in Russia.
Uh-huh.
There are quite a few in Belarus too.
So, in your team there, how do you communicate? In which language?
It didn't matter. At that time, before the war, it made no difference. Now they've become like these hardcore patriots or something. People start correcting each other. Why are you speaking Russian? Why are you? But if a person was born and grew up speaking that language, why should they have to change?
Uh-huh.
I just can't understand that. If someone wants to speak Russian, let them speak Russian.
Uh-huh. So, You know what else I'm curious about? When you first got to your position, was there something really frightening? Something that left a very unpleasant impression on you? Were there any moments like that?
The scary thing was I didn't want to kill anyone.
Uh-huh.
I was just worried that someone might jump out somewhere. So I ran with my rifle. Damn it, just so I wouldn't hurt anyone. Either way, I actually gave medical assistance to your soldier, because in the neighboring grove he got shot in the leg by a machine gun. And I completely applied my own tourniquet, took it off myself and put it on him, took my bandage from my first aid kit, and wrapped up his leg completely. Because his bone was visible, the bone was sticking out.
Uh-huh.
I stopped the bleeding, did everything, and sent him off so he could be evacuated.
Do you think you were lucky that it all ended this way for you?
I think so. I just want to stay in Russia. That's what I was aiming for, just to cross over. I didn't have any other options. I couldn't cross even through another country. Even if I had served my time and been released, they just wouldn't have let me out.
Can women serve in your brigade?
The women who were with me in the camp where I did my training,
Uh-huh.
there were 5 girls there. They all went into drones and UAVs.
Uh-huh.
Well, only into those units. There weren't any in assault units.
Are there any volunteers at all in the unit? Anyone who joined on their own?
No, not anymore. Now they just catch people on the road, in cars, in minibuses.
Uh-huh.
He's riding a bicycle. They just overtake him, stop, throw the bike aside, shove him into the car, and take him to the medical commission. And if he's fit, damn, straight to training. Of those who came here with us last time, there were 17 people.
Uh-huh.
From what I heard over the radio, well, 8 of them were already Kia.
Are there heavy losses in the unit overall?
Well, the unit has suffered heavy losses. There are only 5 or 6 wounded left who were already in the defense. Mom, I love you, but I'm not coming back to Ukraine anymore. I want to stay here with Marina, with my son, and just live in peace. I love you. Say hi to Maxim and Zhenya from me.